after talking about attackers so much, I think it's time we focus on defence because, of course, Liverpool are said to be interested in Crystal Palace centre back Marc Guehi, but that story has gone quiet. There hasn't been too much reporting on that side, and there have been reports suggesting that Tottenham have entered the race, or at least aren't out of the race to sign him. So, with 12 months left on his contract and supposedly Tottenham in the race to sign him, is a decision going to have to be made sooner rather than later about whether to bring him into the club in the immediate future?
I think Liverpool, I get the impression Liverpool are kind of waiting on the Crystal Palace side of things really more than anything at the moment, because they're obviously in a bit of a weird situation with which European competition they're going to be in. That's disrupted the summer business so far, and their ability to bring players in. So that's not helpful to Liverpool. So Liverpool are in a kind of wait and see moment on Guehi at the moment. So obviously, Tottenham will be in the similar position. Would they be as appealing as a move to Liverpool? I'm not so sure. Obviously, they do have Champions League football. He could stay in London, but been a bit of a basket case in recent years, and no guarantees that they will be in the Champions League again next season, where I think you could definitely say that for Liverpool, albeit maybe the thing would appeal at Tottenham more is that you would definitely start every game, whereas you probably couldn't say that at the moment, were he to move to Anfield. So, but again, with this one, it's kind of Liverpool are just hanging in to see. Now, their preferred profile, or the idea that they were looking at generally for a signing in this position, was not really Guehi's profile, but you speak to people there and they just see this as a kind of unique market opportunity that if he's on the market 1 year out from his contract, he's experienced, he's brilliant, he can probably play either side, and he's homegrown. We want to be there if it's possible, but they don't quite know yet what that deal is going to look like, how much Crystal Palace will want, whether that fits into what they think is feasible to pay. So we're waiting to see on that front. And I think if it's not going to be Guehi, I think they'll go back to that kind of established profile of a much younger centre half who's got room to grow, would come in as quite clearly the fourth choice and then be developed at Liverpool. So that is the plan. But they will only revert to that at the moment it becomes clear that they can't get Guehi, and we're not at that moment yet. So it's just kind of hanging on for Crystal Palace at the moment, I think.
After the sale of Gerald Kwanzaa to Bayer Leverkusen, Liverpool only have 3 senior centre-backs at the club. And you'll remember that when Liverpool won the title in 1920, the following season, they only went into the campaign, their title defence, with 3 senior centre-backs. And quite predictably, Van Dijk got injured, Joe Gomez got injured, Joe Matip got injured, and you saw Fabinho and Jordan Henderson playing centre-back. And it was just a bit of a disaster campaign when really Liverpool should have been retaining their title. Is there any chance that Liverpool go into the next season, in the upcoming season, with just 3 senior centre-backs? Because obviously you've had Endo, who's filled in there before, and considering he hasn't had much playing time in midfield, maybe Slot would be able to give him more minutes as a centre-back rather than necessarily using him as a midfielder.
It's certainly an option, but I would hope not, personally. I've spoke to people at Liverpool who've recently talked up the ability of Endo to play there occasionally, Gravenberg. That makes me slightly concerned, I have to say. But I would like to think that they learned the lesson from what happened last time. I mean, they were very unlucky that season. The amount of centre-halves they lost to injury was freakish by the end, and long-term injuries as well. So you would hope that wouldn't happen again. But I wouldn't like to see them go in with just 3. I think it's taking too many risks. And as I say, if they can't get Guehi over the line, and that is a possibility, he may even stay and run down his contract completely. If they can't get that over the line, I would like to see them, as he suggested is the plan, revert to that younger profile and at least get a 4th, even if they're a bit inexperienced. So you need to kind of, put someone to use in the cups that keeps the others fit, and it means that they don't have to play in those kind of competitions. I think that's really important. Very hard to say in terms of if that's the 100% the route they'll go down, because Liverpool, if you can't get a certain target, they will hold fire and wait till they're available. But I just don't think that's an option in this situation. And my feeling is that they will sign, and I really do personally hope that they do as well, because I just think, why run that risk again when you're defending your title?